Hello and welcome back. Today's video is my August favorites video. I'm going to do the same thing that I did for my July favorites, where at the end I will do a tutorial on this look using some of the products that I'm mentioning here. I thought that would be fun to do, and some of you guys did tell me that you enjoyed it, so thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm trying to incorporate more tutorial get ready with me videos on my channel. I did do a get ready with me with one of the palettes that I'm mentioning about 2 weeks ago, so I'll link that in the description box, and let's get started. A lot of the items I'm mentioning are in project pans and my shop my stash videos, so you probably have seen those there. The only non-makeup item thing that I really did want to talk about today is eye brushes. I have been really trying to improve my eyeshadow technique and trying to get my eyeshadows to look more blended. So I've really just noticed that using more brushes and kind of experimenting with my brushes, it really has helped. And I do think that my eyeshadow is looking better in the last few months. And so some of them that I've really liked, this is the Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill, the JH30. This is a really big fluffy one. This is really good for very light crease shades that you just kind of want to get everywhere. This blends out very nicely, so I have enjoyed that. Another crease brush that is not quite as big is this one here, and this is the Pro Tapered Blending by Beauty Junkies. This I purchased on Amazon a long time ago, and I've actually done a whole video about all my favorite makeup brushes, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned most of these in that video. This is also a big blending brush, but not as big as that Jaclyn Hill one. And then this is also from that same set. This is the JH33. This one I really like to do for outer corner and also blending. It is nearly identical to this brush though. And this is also from Beauty Junkies. This is the Pro Blending. These are very similar, where they're kind of flat there and then they're kind of tapered. So this is the one I used today in the outer corner. So you'll see that at the tutorial at the end. These are nearly identical. So I obviously don't need both of these. I just happen to have them, therefore I use them. You know, if one is dirty, I'll use the other one. I have loved these so much because they are actually very good for blending and crease work, but also very good for the outer corner. So sometimes I'll use one for the outer corner and then use this one for the crease. And then I tend to use one of these bigger crease brushes. I tend to use these more for neutral looks because I've just discovered that neutral eyeshadows, those you can really blend a lot more, but with bright colors, I really try to be more precise. So using smaller brushes like this has really helped a lot. So yeah, these are nearly the same brush, but I'm just kind of mentioning them because this is what I have and I've really enjoyed them. Let me talk about some highlighter favorites. I have been loving my Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, and I did recently put this in my pie project pan if you saw that. I really do want to hit pan on this. I love this so much. Very intense highlighters, and I've talked about these a lot on my channel, but these are very beautiful. They have a bit of sparkle and they are very metallic. So definitely intense highlighters right there. And then this I've been loving too. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I put this in a project pan too, the Fall For You project pan. And I had already hit pan on this highlighter, and I'm trying to expand the pan, and I've already expanded it a little bit, which is very exciting. This is a much more subtle champagne highlighter. And this, I like to use a subtle highlighter, and sometimes I actually have used this as a finishing powder to blend highlight, blush, and bronzer together, and it actually has worked well for that too. I like the contour side as well. I don't tend to reach for it as much, but I definitely used this a few times as well this month. And yeah, I've just really liked this. This is something I think was definitely expensive, but this has been worth it because I know I've gotten a lot of use out of this. The other bronzer that I used a lot is the Bare Minerals Faux Tan, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in my last favorites video too, and I'm wearing this today. So you'll see that at the end of the tutorial. I forgot to grab it, but that one is still a favorite. Let me talk about another highlighter. This one actually is new to my collection. This is Catrice Champagne Campaign. This is only $6, and I have been loving this. I bought this from the Catrice website, and I've heard people talk about this for years and say how much they love it, but then people were saying it was discontinued. So I never actually checked, but it is on the Catrice website. So I'm not really sure. Maybe they discontinued it and then brought it back, but I've been loving this. And I used this as well in the tutorial. I use this as finishing powder. This is a subtle champagne color, Champagne Campaign, that's the name. This I have used as a highlighter on its own. It's pretty subtle, you know, nothing too crazy, but also I like this as finishing powder. And I gotta say, Finishing powders are hard to find at the drugstore from my experience. My favorite ones are Hourglass. I don't think this is as finely milled as Hourglass, but it is nice, and for only $6, I've really enjoyed this. And yeah, this is very pretty. So you can build it up to, you know, a decent amount of highlight, nothing too crazy, but it's quite finely milled and I've really enjoyed this. As far as blush, I have not changed up my blush hardly at all. I'm using Wet n Wild Pearlescent Pink. This is in my project pan. Obviously, I've made progress. If you saw my Finish 10 in 2020 update, I will link that if you did not see it, but obviously I'm making a lot of progress. I really do want to finish this. And then really the only other blush I used was Milani Tea Rose, and this is also in my Project 10 uses. I really do like this one. This is more of like a pinky mauve, and this is the one I'm wearing today. And yeah, this one is just really nice. I don't know, just most days I use one of these, and sometimes I combine them together. That kind of gives a more nice neutral look, as this was a lot more coral and this one is a lot more pinky mauve. So together they actually make a really pretty color. As far as lip products, haven't used a ton of lip products. I've mostly just been reapplying lip gloss at home and then putting on lip liner also when I film, and I really have been loving this. This is Beauty Vault. This I got in BoxyCharm a couple months ago. I got 3 lip liners from them. This is the color Kozy Kyra, and I'm wearing this again today, so you'll see this at the end of the video. It's kind of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's a reddish brown, pretty neutral on my lips. It pulls a little darker than it looks here just because I have pretty pigmented lips, but I have really enjoyed this, and this is exactly the same as the ColourPop formula. I admit I didn't look up how much these cost because I did get it in BoxyCharm, but this is really good. I kind of doubt that it's cheaper than ColourPop though. The ColourPop lip liners are about $6 and they are fantastic. And these honestly seem exactly the same. Who knows, maybe they're made in the same factory, because I know a lot of other brands are made in the ColourPop factory, but yeah, either way, great formula. And then some glosses. These two I'm also wearing. I've been wearing NYX Butter Glosses all the time. I love them. NYX and Pat McGrath glosses. Those are my favorite, honestly, and they're the ones that I use the most. These two, again, I'm wearing layered together. This is a Claire, and this one is more of like a cool toned pink, as you can see there. They definitely sheer out on the lips though. And then this is Creme Brulee. This is more of like, you know, a peachy nude type color. And so I have the lip liner and these two layered together. I just like doing that. I like to mix my own lip colors. It's a whole lot of fun. And then the other one that I did wear, this one I know I've talked about a lot on my channel. This is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. This is the High Shine formula in the color Send Nudes. And this is just a light, this is a warmer nude though. It's not super crazy pigmented really to call this a liquid lipstick. I think it's a bit more like a lipstick lip gloss hybrid. It's a bit more like a gloss in my opinion, but I use this on its own, sometimes with a lip liner, sometimes with a nude lipstick, and I really enjoy this formula. It's actually kind of similar to the butter glosses, I think. I don't think this is quite as shiny as the, oh gosh. Wait, I don't think this is quite as shiny, or this is not quite as shiny as these, but I really love all of these. These are fantastic and I use these all the time. Alrighty, let's talk about some eyeshadow palettes that I've been using quite a bit this month. This is in my Shop My Stash if you saw that video. This is a magnetic palette full of random eyeshadows. These are ColourPop, Coastal Scents, and a few indie brands. And these are what I'm wearing today. So again, you'll see that at the end. And then also that Get Ready With Me that I did a couple weeks ago, I used this on the inner corner. This one is called, that is Cupid by Devinah. So many good brands in here and so many good shades. I love this array that I set up here of greens and pinks and blues. I just really enjoy this palette. And I have done a whole video on all of my favorite single eyeshadows, and I mentioned most of these in that video, so you can check that if you're interested. And I've done a video on all of my Coastal Scents Hot Pots and my Makeup Geek too, so if you want to know more, you can check that out. But yes, I did use only colors from this palette today on my eyes, and these are great. I really want to be using my single eyeshadows more. I feel like I have a really great single eyeshadow collection, but sometimes I do tend to neglect them and go for palettes instead. Therefore, I'm really happy that I pulled this out and got some great use on it this month. Another palette that I have used quite a bit is the Tarte Toasted palette. This is beautiful. I really do enjoy this. This is a very warm neutral palette. I mean, it's really not that unique. You can find these colors in a million different palettes, but I particularly really enjoy the matte shades, but I like the shimmers too. I've worn this kind of on an everyday basis. Also, I've worn this in videos. I really like this palette, and I gotta admit, I'm getting very excited for fall eyeshadow. I usually just kind of wear whatever eyeshadow I feel like wearing in that current moment, but in the fall, I love the oranges and the reds. Therefore, definitely plan on using this palette more. This matte pumpkin shade is one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time, and I've really loved using this palette. It has been fantastic. Now, I did buy several eyeshadow palettes in August. I'm only mentioning one of them in this video. I need to test some of them out more, and then I plan on doing a ranking new eyeshadow palettes video, but the one I've used a lot and have loved is the Safari palette by Natasha Denona. This is the one that I did do a get ready with me, so I'll link that in the description box if you want to see more. This is still 50% off on her website for $64, and I did purchase it at that price, and I have really, really loved it. Now, a lot of people do not like this eyeshadow palette because it can be a little bit more difficult to work with. I go into detail in that video, so you can check that out, but basically, less blending is better with these eyeshadows. They are all matte and they are very pigmented, but yeah, if you blend too much, they can become splotchy, which is why a lot of people really hated this palette, but I am so happy that I bought it. I have used this a ton on an everyday basis. I wore it in several videos. Like I said, I did that tutorial with it, and I love these colors. They're so rich, they're so beautiful. You know, I'm really happy that I purchased this, and $64 is still a lot of money, you know, but compared to $129, which is the full price, you know, I think that that's quite an acceptable price. And I do love Natasha Denona. I did buy another Natasha Denona palette this month, and I'm very excited about that. But so if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I bought the gold palette as well. That was on sale on her website. But like I said, I'll do that ranking new palettes video. This one though, I've used a ton, and I'm really, really happy that I bought this. Alrighty, and the last palette that I'm mentioning, I'm kind of shocked that I'm mentioning, but I really have used it a lot and have enjoyed it. That is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. Now, I've mentioned before, if this came out now, I would not buy this. But you know what? I have it and I want to use it, and I do think the quality is good. The matte shades are fantastic. I have used these so much, and I like the shimmers as well. I definitely have used mostly like this part of the palette, but I like it. I like the mattes. I mean, they're definitely not unique. You can find these in so many other palettes or single eyeshadows, but I have this palette and I have been using it, and I've really been loving it, which is great. I did put this in my pie project pan as well, so I'm trying to hit pan. I've already hit pan on this a while ago, and so I want to hit pan on more eyeshadows in this palette because, yeah, like I said, I have it and I want to use it, and I personally really do enjoy the quality of it. Although, you know, like I said, this is not something I would buy if it came out on the market now, but it is nice quality, and there are so many warm neutrals in here. Definitely too many, but if you want a warm neutral look, you know, this is it. And actually, I think this is going to be really good for fall too, because there's some really good reds. This matte red eyeshadow here is definitely one of my favorites. And then also some of these like rusty browns are great. This metallic, I know I love. So I'm actually very excited to continue to use this because I think it's going to be really good for quintessential fall eyeshadow looks. Alrighty, that is it. I've really had a lot of fun shopping my stash this month and using different products in my collection, in addition to the new palettes that I did buy. But yeah, I'm very excited. Let us know what are your favorites. And now let's roll into the tutorial part of this video. Alrighty, I'm really excited for this eye look to use these single eyeshadows. And I'm gonna start with this one here. This is Paprika by Coastal Scents, and I'll list the shadows that I'm using down below, but I'm sure you could do a similar look with a lot of other different shades. So this is just gonna go in the crease. And I'm using this Sigma brush that came with the Enchanted palette. This end of it is actually pretty nice, actually. I did do a video all about my favorite single eyeshadows, and a lot of these in this palette I did mention in that video. And I do have separate videos on my Makeup Geek and my Coastal Scents Hot Pots. If anyone wants to see those, you can search that I love paprika for starting out the crease for any pink or purple look. It just works very well. And this kind of pink slash fuchsia, that is ColourPop Fairplay. That is gonna go in the outer corner. Kind of blending this into the crease also. Blending with paprika again. A color, it's not exactly the same as paprika, but another color that I use in a similar way is Makeup Geek Cupcake. Just kind of like these very light mauve-y, pinky, peachy shades work very well for blending out brighter colors. All right, for a lid shade, I want to go with this minty shimmer here. This is LMAO by Devinah. Really, really like this color. Yeah, if you have the ColourPop Mint to Be palette, which I do have that, so I have some similar shades in there, that would be a good option for this too. This color has a lot of kind of gold flecks in it. It's so pretty. And I'm not wetting my sponge tip right now, but I think I may do a layer with some setting spray also. Just because I like the whole foiled metallic look. All right, so this second layer, I did wet my sponge tip for that just to get that extra foiled effect. A little blending with paprika. A bone highlight. Alrighty, I did wing liner as usual. I'm gonna do a little contouring, Bare Minerals Faux Tan. I have been absolutely loving this for contour and bronzer also. It's just a really nice undertone. It blends easily. Also, something random that I learned in Robert Welsh video a couple of months ago, using brushes like this for contour and blush, he said not to go up and down like this, just keep it in one direction. And I've been doing that for contour and blush, and I think it actually makes a really huge difference as far as blending. So that was pretty cool. For blush, I'm gonna go with Milani Tea Rose, which this is in my Project 10 Uses. And same technique here, only going in one direction. And I've really found that I think it makes a difference. Highlighter, this is the Samantha March one with Ofra. And I think I'm gonna go with just the pink one, which is Pillow Talk. They do sell these individually, or if you get this one, it's Pillow Talk and Star Island, which are both permanent and sold individually. Finishing powder, I'm gonna actually change it up and use this Catrice. This is in Champagne Campaign, and I've heard people talking about this highlighter for so long, and people were saying that it was discontinued, but I found it on the Catrice website, and I've used it as a subtle highlighter or as a finishing powder, and I like it for both, so it's actually really nice. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go with this purpley brown. This is Facet by ColourPop. And I'm also gonna blend that out with Fairplay as well. Alrighty, I did mascara and an inner corner highlight with this pink shimmer here. This is ColourPop On the Fence. This is one I'm pretty sure that they did discontinue. I feel like they discontinue their singles very quickly, which is kind of annoying, but that is okay. It's just a light pink shimmer. And then for lips, I really want to use this Beauty Vaulte Cozy Kyra lip liner. I've used this several times this month, and it's kind of like a brown mauve color. I don't know, but I just have been really enjoying this. This formula seems very similar to ColourPop. So this is almost even like a red, and so I want to try to pink it up a little bit with these glosses. I love layering lip products. This is just what I enjoy. And I think these NYX butter glosses layer really well. I have no idea how people talk and put on lip products at the same time. It is impossible to me, but I layered these two glosses on top. Like I said, these NYX glosses layer so well. I love doing that. And so one is Eclair, this is the more pink one, and then this is Creme Brulee, kind of like a lighter peachy pink, and I just like the way this looks. I've just been really into lip liner and lip gloss combination lately. Alrighty, that is it for this look. I really like how the mint looks with the pink, and I really enjoy this lip color. I like how it turned out. So that is it for this look, and that is it for this favorites video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.